Greetings, Montaza here, and I'm going to playing some Pyro with this loadout. Phlogistonator as the primary weapon, and then as the secondary weapon, the mighty panic attack, and as the melee weapon, the extinguisher. Yeah, not exactly what you would call a good loadout. In fact, I would call it the worst loadout that's possible for the Pyro. So, as the game is about to start, let's talk about the weapons one at a time and why this is the worst. First, look at the primary weapon using the Phlogistonator. Well, it is the worst. The Pyro has the only other one a person I could think about argue to maybe be worse would be the rain blower. Well, it functions exactly the same as the regular flamethrower. Its view model as well as the appearance of the flames makes it hard to see what you're doing, and being able to see what you're doing is actually quite helpful. You'll probably understand why seeing what you're doing is helpful in games such as this. Main problem with the Phlogistonator is simply no air blast. It's very very simple that air blast is extremely useful. You can set up combos with flare gun or stuff like that, or push Ubers away, extinguish teammates, push people off cliffs, or simply if you run around a corner there's a heavy medic combo, just use the air blast to push them further to improve your chances of successfully getting away from a fight you can't win. So yeah, the Phlogistonator has some problem. It used to be slightly better when the taunt also healed you. Main problem with that, and the reason why I don't complain about that thing change, it could allow you to get away with some really stupid stuff. But as this, even when it was used the most, personally I never had any problem dealing with Phlog Pyros. Not even when I played medical, and that is when I wasn't using the vaccinator. That's pretty much countered them, but defending myself as a medic on my own against the Phlog Pyro wasn't that difficult, really. And if you have watched my videos, you may notice I'm not a great player. I'm maybe okay player, maybe average, maybe slightly above average, but yeah, not a great by any means. There are plenty of people that are much better than I am. Plenty of people that wouldn't run a soldier that way and get blown up. Of course, that's generally what happens to Phlog Pyros. They run straight towards the enemy. Yeah, the Phlog, it can be quite fun to use sometimes, but yeah, it's not good overall. Unless the teams are acting in such a way that you actually can get away with using it. And whenever you do activate the humph and around the crits, well, it's pretty awesome to melt the heavy in almost no time at all, so it has its moments. And now to the secondary weapon. Well, if you're going to have worse loadouts, you probably don't want weapons that actually synergize with each other, so therefore the flare guns are not an option. Regardless of what you may think about the man melter, it actually does work well with the Phlog in some ways. It's a flare gun, so it can set people on fire without getting close to them and putting yourself in unnecessary danger, and still be able to actually build up a humph meter, and it can extinguish teammates. And really, you have Scorch Shot, it's all around a good weapon, especially together with the Phlog. I have never used the detonator with it, but the detonator, it has moments, it can allow some extra mobility at times. And, well, the standard flare gun is a very good weapon, so obviously not one of them. The standard shotgun, it's fairly good choice. So, when it doesn't synergize with the Phlog, it's still a solid weapon. And then, what about reserve shooter? Well, while you don't have an air blast, you can't air blast people and get the mini crits that way. You still get the benefit of the switch speed, still a pretty decent weapon, and well, in order to get the mini crits, it's not necessarily that you need to really want to actually push them up. You can be launched by an explosion or by another pyro. It doesn't matter, you can still potentially get the mini crits, but then we have the weapon I went with, the panic attack. I actually really like the weapon, but it's not really good as a secondary weapon, really. And for the classes that can actually use it, only the engineer uses it as a primary weapon. So, yeah, and well, the soldier can have use in, especially in some gimmicky loadouts, but even then, soldier has some use of it as a secondary. But the pyro and heavy, not really. Which one gets the least use of it, it's hard to say. No. But yeah, out of all the options, it's not good. For as a secondary weapon, in order to fire, you actually need to load your shots, so can't just switch to it and immediately fire a shot at an enemy. That's the problem. And after you have loaded your shots, you can't switch weapon until you have fired. So that can be quite problematic. With the standard shotgun, you could simply just switch weapon whenever. So you see, yeah, here the shotgun will be useful. You can immediately do so. But if you're using the panic attack, well, you either switch to it before you think you can get use of it, and if you end up with shots loaded and you see that, yeah, I would need my flamethrower activated this time, well, you can't just immediately switch to flamethrower so you can fire with the panic attack. So yeah, it's not really a good choice. Last but not, well, probably least, one weapon you haven't even seen me use, the Extinguisher. Leaving aside the possible the change the hat has in that mean it's not that good, but especially with the Phlog it doesn't work well. First of all, the lack of an air blast means that it can't put people in the places where you can maximize your chances of successfully actually taking them out with it, since that's the way you want to use it. And even if you could, well, immediately killing someone with a crit does mean that all that damage, that's not something, that's not going to build up your oomph meter any, so, and it takes long time to switch and swing. So yeah, Extinguisher does not a good choice with these weapons, but despite that, as you can see, I did reasonably well, but that's mostly because teams. Enemy team simply let me get away with all this. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.